protein powder in there in between meals or whatever. Or, you don't want to have a whole lot of a big dinner. You might want to have that or start your morning with that. And so yogurt, oh my gosh, how many different types of yogurts are out there? You don't know which one to pick. And you think they're all healthy, and some of them are loaded with sugar. So now if you've got a bad gut that's just overgrown with bad bacteria and parasites, and you have yogurt because it's got a probiotic, well, now you've just made them flourish. And one of the best ones is, actually you can find it at natural grocers, and it's a full fat. A full fat, and it's lower in sugar. But that full fat is actually healthier for you. And so, let's see. So they'll be more of a probiotic. They improve your digestion. They'll help you with your weight management, and they reduce your risk of heart disease. It's a better choice. Fat-free. A lot of times it'll say fat-free, but it's loaded in sugar. So it's better to have that. Your body digests fat. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to eat this or that meat. Any animal product that's high in fat, you can digest. But you can't digest Crisco. That's why you love donuts, but you gain weight because it's that fat that it's fried in. It's so unhealthy. I actually like to bake my own protein donuts a lot of times. And you can have your kids help you make it fun. Now they're having something delicious that's nutritious as well. And like cheese. Oh, cheese. We all love cheese. Cheese is great. So one of the things that a lot of people can't have dairy. They're lactose intolerant. You can't break that fat down. So the one that's easier to digest is actually goat cheese. Some people don't like it, but some people will become accustomed to it. I love it. That's the only thing I buy is goat cheese. Feta cheese is good for you too. It's easier to digest. But goat milk too. Gosh, the only thing is with any milks out there, once it goes through the process of pasteurization, a lot of the nutrients are stripped. And as adults, we're still drinking milk, and it's like we're supposed to be weaned off when we're babies, and you're not really supposed to drink milk. But the only best milk if it's fresh from the animal. So goat's milk is really the easiest. The fats in it are easier to digest. So a lot of times you'll find reduced fat, but fat may increase heart disease, the ingredients of them. So your cheese is rich in protein, calcium, vitamin B12, phosphorus, selenium. There's another one. And then, let's see, another good fat. Actually, dark chocolate. It contains fiber, iron, magnesium. It's loaded with antioxidants like resveratrol. So they possess anti-aging properties. So as long as you're having about 70% and higher on your dark chocolates, they're really good for you. They have less sugar and more nutrients. So I like to bake with them a lot. That's what I'll use. And I found, I think it's Libby's. Is it Libby's? It's a Libby's dark chocolate that they sell. That's what I like to bake with. So your complex versus your simple carbs. Your complex carbs are more stable source of energy. They're less processed. They're easier to digest. They'll keep you fuller longer. They're higher in fiber. They improve your healthy gut. They're higher in natural iron, vitamin B, antioxidants, and they boost your performance. Your simple carbs, they're more processed, quickly they digest quicker. They're lower in dietary fiber, lower in natural iron, vitamin B's, and antioxidants, and they lower your performance because they make you more sluggish. So you'll have a real quick spike in sugar and then a real hard crash. So what are your examples of simple carbs? Your candy, sugary drinks, syrups, table sugar, fruit juice concentrate, products with added sugar, baked goods, or some cereal and white flour. A lot of syrups we think are good for you, sugar-free. The thing I learned about sugar-free, it becomes addictive, and it's really bad for your gut. There's a lot of sugars out there, syrups that are so bad for you, and what happens, you'll actually gain more weight with that. a lot of the sugar-free. You're better off with a little bit of the backstrap molasses. Those are actually better. They're a little sweeter for some people. They like them, but some people it's too sweet. Your maple sugar, just put a little bit. And you know, if you're just doing it sparingly, it's not going to hurt you. It's great. What's that?
Agave?
Actually, I used to think agave was good. Actually, 100% tequila, the 100% blue agave tequila is a probiotic, I was told. Yay! For all the tequila lovers, you know, a little sip is okay. It's all in moderation, right? But I used to think that, and then I heard agave was not, that it wasn't gut friendly. So it kind of varies. I think it might depend on the studies, the research that's been done. Some will say yes, some will say no. You kind of have to follow your own gut. If it agrees with you, okay. If it doesn't, then that's a sign it's not good for you. Let's see, some local alternatives that are gut healthy sweeteners that are better to manage your blood sugar. They reduce inflammation, and they're still a sugar, but you got to consume them in moderation. Your raw local honey, always great. The real maple syrup, coconut sugar. I bake with coconut sugar. So I might put maybe half of that, half of stevia, or a little bit of molasses, or a little bit of honey, in a little combination. Like I said, your backstrap molasses. Some say date syrup is good, some say no. Paste or sugar, so that's another thing. I mean, I think dates are pretty good. They're pretty good. They're a pretty good little snack a lot of times. It's got some sugar, just in moderation. The thing is, when you're buying like date syrup, a lot of times it might be over processed. Not something that's already processed. So fake sugars to avoid. Now remember this one. Next time you're drinking something, read on it, or any ingredient, anything that you buy in a box, the sweeteners. Sweeteners to avoid. Aspartame. Sorbitol. Gosh, these are hard to say. If it's hard to say, don't eat it, guys. If it's hard to say, you can't pronounce it. Erythritol, right? Sucralose. It's in everything. Sucralose. So bad, so bad. Xylitol, I used to think was a good one. I think in some cases, but xylitol, saccharin, agave nectar. Okay? Those are some that we think they're really good for us, and that's the thing. A lot of times you read something and you think it's super gut friendly, and it's not. So you want to avoid all the artificial sweeteners. What they do is they alter that gut bacteria, that gut microbiome, and so they can lead to diseases, obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, cancer, autoimmunity. So right now, what is it? Everyone's got an autoimmune disease. It's like anything you have, the doctor says it's an autoimmune disease. Well, what is that? Anything basically that disrupts your microbiome. So they don't know exactly pinpoint. That's what they just label it. So if you cut the simple carbs to burn fat stored around, they cut simple carbs to burn fat stored around your midsection for energy rather than sugars from carbs. So that's what simple carbs do. They naturally sweeten any dish, baked goods, sauces, and dressings with fruit. So naturally sweeten any dish, baked goods, sauces, and dressings with fruit. So use fruit instead of all the processed stuff, natural sugars. So there's a lot of vitamins and minerals that we use during sports recovery. Vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin A, carotenoid, potassium, magnesium, iron, vitamin D, vitamin E, zinc. So a lot of times, you want to find a healthy multivitamin. You don't have to have a multivitamin if you eat all the foods that contain all these. And there's all the foods, fish, eggs. So all the ones that I listed have all of these vitamins and minerals. So you don't have to buy a vitamin and mineral if you don't want to. It's called a supplementation. It's a vitamin supplement. So you don't have to because you get it in your foods. Now, a lot of times you have your blood work done, but they don't do a panel if you're lacking magnesium or potassium unless you have some kind of ailment or health condition. But you can always ask for a panel of something. You can ask your doctor, I'm not feeling so well. Am I being deficient in something? And sometimes they're running magnesium or potassium. They'll check it and then they can supplement. So vitamin B converts proteins and carbs for energy. They repair cells, reduce inflammation. They help with energy storage, brain health, cell production. Intense training may require more vitamin B2, folate, and vitamin B12. They synthesize red blood cells and repair muscle damage. So vitamin C, growth and maintenance of body tissue, connective tissue, collagen aids in body healing, rebuilding tissue. They help the immune system in preventing illnesses, pain, and inflammation reducing. So a lot of the foods that have this, that's why they're so good for us, because they reduce a lot of the inflammation that is caused when we weight train. It causes inflammation in the body. That's why rest and recovery are so important. So potassium, it's an essential mineral for your diet. You need it for your kidneys, your heart function, muscle contraction, nerve transmission. FDA recommends about 4,700 milligrams in your diet. And then people who are low-carb dieters, they're at risk of this deficiency. Let's see, magnesium helps with muscle relax post-workout. They protect against muscle damage, and it's an electrolyte. Iron, especially for women, we need them because we have our monthly cycles. We lose a lot, so you need to replenish. So iron, and some people who are vegan, they have a lot of issues with that because they're lacking iron. So they say at least meat at least once a week sometimes. Some people don't like it, maybe once a month. Everybody's different. So you gotta kind of find out what you thrive on, because some people thrive on meat, some people on fish, some people do okay with chicken or turkey. It just depends on everybody's different. You gotta find out what works for you. So if you have something that you can't figure out what's ailing you, make a list of what you eat. Maybe take one out a week and see if you feel any better. Those are great ways to find out. Take something out. Or take everything out and start incorporating little by little some things and see if anything bothers you. Change it up. Vitamin E helps speed muscle recovery and function. About 4,000 IUs of D3 may help prevent muscle damage. A lot of us don't get to spend time out in the sun, even 20 minutes sometimes out in the sun, or sometimes you may not even absorb it because everybody's body's different. So a lot of these foods that you're having may disrupt you from even absorbing the vitamin D. Zinc plays a role in 100 enzymes and immune function. They build proteins, including muscle, healing wounds, DNA development, and growth. So getting these by eating enough nutrient-dense foods that are colorful veggies, fruits, whole grain, lean proteins, and good fats will help you. And then get your blood tested and check levels to see if you're deficient, if you're not feeling well. Let's see, why is gut health important? Your gut digests the foods you eat and absorbs the nutrients, so you need those nutrients for fuel to maintain your body. The gut plays a huge role in the health and well-being of your body. So your gut is in tight communication with your brain. You know, a lot of times we eat so fast, we can't catch up and we think we're still hungry, but if we eat slower and really chew. So somebody told me, a doctor, naturopath told me, you gotta chew your food like 50 times before you swallow. And sometimes we're in such a hurry, and then you wonder why your gut hurts and why you're so bloated, because your stomach is not meant to break down the big chunks. That's why we have our teeth. And then it digests the rest of the stuff that, it breaks down. So the gut is in tight communication with the brain. It influences our immune system, our immune activity. Your GI muscles contract fluid secretions. It affects all that. Over 70% of our immune cells reside in the gut. 70%. That's a huge number. So what are the signs of an unhealthy gut? Autoimmune problems, thyroid issues, rheumatoid arthritis. So a lot of the sugars, they'll increase that rheumatoid arthritis and become more swelling. Type 1 diabetes, digestive issues. That's another sign. Digestive issues, what are those? Irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, constipation, diarrhea, heartburn, bloating. So if you're, like I said, you're burping, that's a sign that it just didn't agree with you. It's not a good food to consume. Gut health, sleep issues. You won't sleep good. You'll have headaches, brain fog, inability to focus. So that's another sign. And number 4, skin rashes and allergies. Eczema. Eczema is a sign. It's overgrowth of yeast in the gut. How do you get an overgrowth of yeast in the gut? Beer drinkers. That's why spouses get yeast infections. Children can be born with eczema. The mother passes it along because the baby's eating what you're eating, right? So a lot of alcohol, it's sugar, it feeds the gut. So a lot of fruity drinks. Fruit is good, but then you're having too much fruit, it could be a bad thing. Let's see, sugar cravings. If you have sugar cravings, you might have a little overgrowth of that bad bacteria and parasites. So what are great things to kill it? I like to have my morning, have a garlic pill. Nature's Sunshine. Nature's Sunshine is a great product. I think it's been around since like 1946. They're herbs in a capsule. So instead of having any, most of the time, all of the advertisement on any of the medications out there, they have like 4, 5, 6 different side effects. And you're not really curing anything, you're just kind of putting a Band-Aid over it. So with herbs, what did everybody do traditionally? Back in the olden days, it was herbs. And so a lot of people think the little weeds that we have in our house, they're actually good for you. And so that's why mint, it's an herb. Basil is an herb. Cilantro, it's an herb. They're all good for you. Your salads, everything. Beets. Beets are blood red like your heart. They're good for your heart. Walnuts are great. They're shaped like a brain if you notice. They're great for your brain. But they're also gut healthy because the black walnuts, they kill parasites. So really nutritious for you. Any unexplained fatigue, you're sluggish, your gut. It's telling you, we gotta listen. A lot of times they say, listen to your gut. I think that's where that came from. So you wanna avoid processed junk food, alcohol, sugar beverages, your refined oils, artificial sweeteners. Cut out anything containing the gluten. You know, you have gluten intolerance. So how do you improve your gut? Well, let's add the rich fiber foods, probiotics. Nature's Sunshine, it's got a great probiotic 11. It's got, gosh, millions of probiotics. Have that in the morning because our coffee, it's great for us, but it also kills some of that bacteria. So you want to put something back into it. Let's see. Consider, instead of going out to buy all these supplements, consider food is your supplement. Right there, you get it all from there. Exercise regularly. Regular exercise increases that gut bacteria. You want to do anything to increase it. You want to improve it. That garlic kills everything. Onions, garlic, it's all great. Limit your alcohol intake because it does kill that good bacteria. And reduce your stress level. Stress kills your gut bacteria. When you're stressed or upset, what happens? I don't want to eat. Your stomach's all upset. It's all in a knot. Anything you eat, it's just not even going to be as beneficial. Your gut microbiome. Let me see, I think I see it. Yes, I did. All right. So all disease begins in the gut. Hippocrates, he was considered the father of modern medicine, and that was what he would say. All diseases begin in the gut. Bless you. So your gut microbiome. The intestinal tract contains trillions of microbiomes, gut bacteria. So the environment in your gut helps body make vitamins, protecting us against infections, manage your metabolism, your body's energy. It communicates with every cell in your body. So we all know your body's a little well-oiled machine if you're feeding it right. So your gut contains good and bad bacteria, and it's all affected by the foods that we eat. So those foods can help you fight the bad bacteria. I think over the last couple of years we've heard of bone broth. It's just huge right now. Bone broth, bone broth, bone broth. All that stuff, that marrow in that bone is so gut healthy. And years ago they used to do that. When they would slaughter the animals, that's what they would do. The oxtails and all that good stuff that we don't eat anymore because everything is so convenient. Fast food is so convenient. One doctor, naturopath, said 90% of the food we have now didn't exist, but 90% of the diseases exist today. So the food, it just feeds everything. Turmeric, ginger, sauerkraut, kimchi. Kimchi is like fermented vegetables. That's one of the big things right now. That sauerkraut, there's several ones you can buy. Natural Grocers has a great one. I'll top my salad and put it in a sandwich. Let's see, flax seeds, almonds, the bread. If you're gonna have bread, Doesn't mean eat it every day, because bread can be gut unfriendly if you have too much. But if you're gonna have a burger, because we all want a burger. I love a burger. Who doesn't love a good burger, right? So if you're gonna have bread, which is the most gut-friendly bread, is sourdough. But not just any sourdough. I'll compare when I go to the stores. Some of them have canola oil in them. Some of them have soybean oil in it. Different things, you kind of have to look at the ingredients. But because the yeast is from a starter, it's gut friendly. All the other yeast build up in the gut. So those are one of the things, that's one of the biggest thing right now that I learned. So all the coconut products are easier to digest along with the olive oil. And like I said, garlic, onions, peas. A lot of people can't do the whey protein. I can't do the whey protein. I've switched to pea protein. So, and it's sweetened with stevia. True Nutrition has a really great one, really great price. They ship it to you in a bag, so you don't have this big tub. Right now, I know all the prices have gone up with whey protein. I mean, it's like $20 a pound. So it's pretty, it's just gone up with everything else with inflation. But pea protein is a little bit less, and it's gut friendlier for a lot of people. So that's a good thing to experiment and find out which one do you thrive better. Because you don't want to just heavily rely on protein shakes, but it's always good to have. You have one or two. You know, everybody's with convenience. That's why fast food. That's why everybody's so suffering so much with autoimmune. You got all the fast food with all the oils that are not gut friendly. So I know we have a past life, fast-paced life. We didn't live that years ago. Our ancestors, they had all of their gardens. They had their animals that they slaughtered, that they raised, so they knew what they were eating out in the pasture. Now we have everything that we need so fast. They plump up all their chickens, and everything is so mass-produced. I saw where now they're lab-creating eggs made from chemicals. Didn't know that. So there's a whole bunch of new stuff. Lemon is great. Lemon water is gut-friendly. So first thing in the morning, you want to do that. Have your water with some fresh lemon juice, even apple cider vinegar, like a little teaspoon or a teaspoon, tablespoon. Teaspoon, right? A little teaspoon of apple cider vinegar kind of settles down that gut, prepares it for your first meal. Yogurt, kefir curd. So what is curd? It's the thickened or solid part of the milk that separates from the whey after the milk sours. That's really good. Mix lemon with milk. That creates your probiotic, your lactobacillus, just by doing that. A lot of times I'll have a recipe that calls for, what is it? What's that sour milk?
Buttermilk?
Buttermilk. You just put lemon juice in it and you let it sit for a little while and it kind of curds a little bit. So you can make it kind of buttermilk. Kombucha, that's the biggest thing lately, right? Miso and kombucha, gut friendly. So that's it. That's all the information I had to share today, but really the important thing is just learning more about that gut friendly, because that's where everything starts. So if you create a great environment, it sets you up for a healthier, more productive life. And so you're training and you're eating, but if you don't have a healthy gut, then you wonder, how come I'm not thriving at the gym? I'm pushing so hard, I'm working so hard, you're working so hard at the gym. You got to feed your body the right way. You had a question, Mr. Ranch.
My favorite mother-in-law, she has chickens.
Yes, she
so
does.
you contact her and get fresh eggs.
My mom, she raises her own chickens, so she eats her own eggs, and she happens to eat her own chickens every once in a while too, you know. So she knows what she feeds them, and she feeds them a little bit of grain. A little bit of grain is okay, but the majority of their diet is a lot of leafy greens. Anything that, you peel your cucumbers, any celery, anything she has, she'll feed them. She'll get vegetables for them. So they eat a lot of leafy greens, and they do walk around and eat the little bugs and everything that they find. So they eat all the natural, healthy stuff. So she knows what she's eating. Of course, your chicken's a little tougher. In the store, they put all these other things that they feed it. That's why it's softer. So it'll be a little tougher because it's eating all the healthy, natural stuff. So, yeah, she's got some chickens, lots of chickens and eggs. So that's what I get to eat. Heck, I think we ate about 9 dozen in a week. We eat a lot of eggs. Yeah, we go through a lot of eggs. Because I'll bake stuff. I'll bake healthy muffins. So instead of going and buying a protein bar, you know, I'll make these little healthy muffins and have them, the avocado ones. I have some blondies.